Oh, it's all sticky here. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for downloading the Voice of Bedlam podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Santoro. We got a great show planned out for you guys today. First show before NFL kickoff 2016. Everybody's hyped. We're going to get to a lot of stuff tonight. We're going to get to our first official jokerchoker.com pro football pick'ems. So you guys run over to jokerchoker.com and get signed up too. But before we get to all that, let's hang out and see what's going on with the co-host, with my man Devil John.
2 more days now until I get my rematch to see a noodleless
Broncos.
Broncos, yes.
Broncos without a noodle.
Without the noodle arm there to, gather all the media hype. So let's see if that Denver defense is truly number one, because I think what's going to happen is them Carolina Panthers are going to be manhandling them, and then you're all going to be like, oh, yeah, I guess I should have picked up the Panthers defense. But speaking of that, how are you doing over there, Mr. Sean?
I'm doing good, guys. It is 48 hours from now, a little bit more than 48 hours. I'll say 50 hours from now. Football is finally back, guys.
Damn right.
Finally back. I can't wait. There's a whole lot to talk about, but let's talk to Colin. Colin, what's up?
Less than 40.
What up, Philly boy?
Wonder what you guys are doing for your first football game of the season. I have an ongoing tradition of ordering as many chicken nuggets as is insanely possible without them calling the cops on you. So that's kind of my tradition that we've been going 3 years strong. Last year, between 4 of us, we ordered 180 chicken nuggets from a unnamed food source. We'll let them sponsor us if they want.
Yeah, right.
Corporate
exactly
fast
right.
food.
So, any first football game traditions for you guys?
I don't know. I don't really think.
I like to eat Italian food, I guess, because it's always pizza and wings. That's always a big go-to. But I think this year I might start a new tradition and just make my own wings, because I made some Super Bowl wings that were kicking bourbon. And they were banging.
Yeah,
guys,
I pretty much just curse at my TV a lot while the Giants are on.
Tradition.
What about you, Sean?
Well, usually the first Thursday night I end up down at Mother's and have a few beers, and by few I mean more than that. We'll see if I actually get down there this year.
It's a few. It's just quite a
guy
few.
might have something to say about it.
Yeah, it's few plus a few more. We'll leave it at that.
So just call it quite a few.
Yeah. I like to imbibe and ingest, and then just take in the beginning of a new football season, because it's one of the best nights of the year, isn't it?
Let's get right into the daily breakdown.
Okay, all right. Now, we're going to be talking a lot of Eagles today, probably a lot of NFC East. And, of course, we're rolling things off with Bradford moving from the Eagles to the Vikings for a 2017 first-round pick and a fourth-round pick. Now, Colin published an article up at voiceofbedlam.com. Go over there now. Check it out, called Bye Bye Birdie. Now, in my opinion, I think the Eagles come out huge in this deal. I mean, maybe they're not going to do much this year, but this was definitely the right move. Now, Colin, I didn't get a chance to read your article, Bye Bye Birdie, so why don't you tell us a little about your opinion?
Well, as subjectively as I possibly could, or objectively rather, I tried to write an article that views both sides of the trade and why this makes just as much sense for the Eagles as it does for the Vikings. Obviously, both teams out thinking it's a great deal. So what it means is that...
Did you say both teams came out thinking it was a great deal, you said?
I think they would have to, right?
Okay,
look at Teddy Bridgewater-led Vikings last year. They were a 11-5 division champion, and they attempted less passes than any other team in the NFL. So why don't you think, or why wouldn't anyone think that Sam Bradford would, with all due respect to Teddy Bridgewater, who's a great game manager, he did not turn the ball over, but wouldn't you guys think that Sam Bradford could do as well or better than the season that Teddy Bridgewater had last year? So it makes sense for them. They sacrificed a first-round pick in order to be Super Bowl contenders as they thought they would. Remember, guys, they almost beat the Seahawks in the playoffs last year. There was a 27-yard fluke field goal miss by Blair Walsh that kept them out of playing for the NFC Championship game. Playing for the right to play in there. What do you guys think on this? I love it for the Eagles too. We'll get into that as we go on.
But real quick, another little tidbit of news here. We might as well talk about these things together. One of the other choices the Vikings, talking about slim pickings, may have had would have been Mark Sanchez, who was cut by Denver this Saturday, when they trimmed down to 53. He pretty much immediately signed with the Cowboys, and I guess he'll be backing up Dak Prescott. Now, he is an ex-Eagle, and before we get to the Cowboys side of this, let's talk about the Eagles. Now, as I said, it is good for Minnesota, but the Eagles need this because they had to use, how many picks did they use to get Chase Daniels? They got to start replenishing a bit, don't you think?
What do you mean, Carson Wentz?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
They traded their first pick for next year, which they immediately got back in this trade, and they traded a future, what was it, a second rounder or a third rounder for 2018?
No, they traded more than that. They traded a couple for
what else did they trade, Colin?
Yeah. It was about the equivalent to trading a first round pick, a second round pick, and a third round pick.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought it was a 2 and a 3 too.
Yeah, what they did was swap this year's fourth rounds and first rounds, and then also throw in an additional first round, second round, and third round pick spaced out over starting this year and then the next 3 years now.
So the Eagles really do come out, I think I don't want to say the clear winners, but this deal, if you're an Eagles fan, and I'm just going to speak subjectively for a minute here, if you're an Eagles fan, there's no way you can look at this deal as being a bad thing. The only problem, I thought about this a little bit more on the drive over here, is that Carson Wentz had virtually no preseason, and now he's slotted to be the Week 1 starter against Cleveland, and he's still nursing, as far as I know, he's still nursing that cracked rib that he suffered in Week 1 of the preseason, and now he's going to be thrown in Week 1. Now, I said, I'm on record for saying that I wanted Carson Wentz to be the starter because you traded all the way up to number 2 to get him, but I mean, with the injury thrown in there, it kind of, I don't like where Carson Wentz is necessarily coming in. I would have maybe had Chase Daniel start for a few weeks, maybe go to the bye, which is early this year for the Eagles. It's Week 4, and then maybe throw him in Week 5 against Detroit. What is your take on this now, Colin? Now that Carson Wentz is now the starter for the Eagles, where do you like it? Do you like the Carson Wentz being the starter, or would you have rather seen him maybe get more acclimated to the offense?
Acclimated.
I think that it would have made sense for him to sit a week and just like you said, like if he waited until after the bye week, I think that makes sense, and merely because of his lack of preseason reps. He only took 24 snaps in the preseason,
right.
Lost 2.5 weeks of practice as well. So just to get better assimilated to the NFL pace and give him a clipboard for a game, let him watch the regular season game right there on the sidelines, talk to Chase Daniel throughout the game, kind of get some more information. That's probably what I would have done, but I can't fault Doug Peterson, and I'm not upset about it as a fan.
Yeah, I'm not upset either. I think maybe throwing Carson Wentz to the Wolves in Week 1, given that injury and the fact that he didn't really have much of a preseason, hinders his development just a little bit because he's not necessarily he hasn't seen so much time yet on the field.
He hasn't seen any. Now Chase Daniels,
some, but very, very
Chase
little.
Daniels didn't really do much at all in the preseason, throwing for 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions, being sacked 4 times, having been played in all 4 games, going for 37 or 60 attempts, completing 37 of them.
Yeah, that's terrible.
For 332 yards. Chase Daniels, 8-year pro.
Honestly, and then, I'm just speaking from a third party over here, obviously, because I'm not an Eagles fan, thank God. But no, on some real stuff, you want to know where your first round pick is going to take you into the future, and now that you got a first round pick back for that gamble, you want to know whether or not you're going to have to go and pull another Cleveland Browns and see if you need to go get a real quarterback.
Ooh, Eagles are the new Browns. Eagles are the new Browns.
There's no way. There's no way of knowing though that Carson Wentz is or isn't the future after 1 year.
Speaking of the Browns, do you think that Carson Wentz would be starting Week 1 if they were playing the Seahawks, for example?
Most definitely.
It is the Cleveland Browns, which is not a terrifying defense.
Nice little tune-up game, you're trying to say, like in college.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's going to be their easiest game of the season, at least on paper. It's
RG3's
home game
first
against
game.
the team who won 4 games last year.
With RG3 at quarterback.
Yeah.
With RG3 at quarterback, yeah, exactly. Who, he's shown more than Carson Wentz has in the NFL, but he hasn't.
Not by much. Well, he did win the Rookie of the Year.
I was about to say. But
Carson
we're
Wentz.
going to have to move on, guys, to the Cowboys now. We kind of got to keep things moving. I mean, we could splash in some of the Eagles again. But, Mark Sanchez signing up. How do you guys feel about this Cowboys team as a whole? Now, Ezekiel Elliott has the most popular jersey selling right now. The first rounder out of Ohio State Buckeyes, Ezekiel Elliott being, what was he, the 4th overall pick?
Can you buy the cutoff version?
Jeez. Yeah, the little...
You know who's
maybe they sell the girls.
the number 2 selling jersey now?
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick. Okay.
We'll talk about that maybe. But yeah, I mean, it seems like things are starting to swing a little.
Yeah, because maybe some people actually looked into it and were like, oh my God, the media was lying to me, and now that I have a brain and actually read the actual document instead of taking somebody's opinion for it, welcome to reality and welcome to the rest of us that are awake.
But we've talked plenty about Colin Kaepernick.
You need to go back and listen to those.
Changed. You could just go back to the last 2 episodes. Let's talk about Sanchez. Now, is the rookie being Dak Prescott, is he on any type of leash whatsoever? What happens if he comes out? Now, he has looked great during the preseason, but what happens if he comes out and throws 3 interceptions in the first half?
If I may say, when you're in Jerry world, there's no such thing as a leash. They don't. It is.
That's very true.
They're like. I would tend to agree.
they're like organized felons. Like you remember? Do you remember in basketball when?
Yes, basketball.
Remember the Dallas Felons?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, that is a perfect representation of what I've always seen the Dallas Cowboys.
That's like any Dallas team.
And that's dating back to crackhead Michael Irvin, and that's going all the way up to can't get right Mr. Terrell Owens.
I don't know. I mean, Michael Irvin is a Hall of Famer. He could probably be in the Hall of Fame twice, and T.O. is making his way in there.
But he still smoked that crack rock.
Going along with this Sanchez, Dak Prescott thing, I can see if Dak Prescott goes in and is just a complete dumpster fire, you throw in Mark Sanchez because he can at least manage the game. We all know what Mark Sanchez is. He's a backup.
He is,
but he's at least a serviceable backup. And it's not like the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl this year anyway. No. So.
But they could take the division. They could take the division.
That is a really weak division. So, I mean, it's really going to depend on how bad Dak Prescott plays and where you're going to see maybe Mark Sanchez.
But he's playing behind
in there.
A great offensive line, which is a lot of things. A lot of new quarterbacks don't always have that luxury. You know what I mean? He's coming into a pretty much established team with a new running back. But
and Dak Prescott has weapons, too.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Absolutely. But here's an interesting little thing from MSN.com. Now, it says, with Bradford in Minnesota and Sanchez in Dallas, it's very possible that the Eagles could face off against both of their former quarterbacks this season, that being Sanchez and Sam Bradford. So because the Eagles take on the Vikings in Week 7, and Sanchez, we don't know. I don't know if Sanchez is really going to see any time with the Cowboys, but he will see the Eagles Week 8.
Yeah, he was having an awesome preseason.
Well, we'll see him another week, too.
Yeah, true.
In Philadelphia.
I was looking at some of the stuff on Pro Football Focus, and the numbers for Dak Prescott being a starter, just based off of obviously the small group, like he's looking at like ratings in the middle. He's around like averaging a 118, and on the right side 118 again. Shorter. That's in the longer passes. Now the shorter passes, he's got a little bit, for
what do you
the
mean,
dumping.
Medium or the dumps?
Yeah, the dumps.
Right.
It's like 72 in the middle, 56 on the right, 122 to the left. So across the body, he's doing fine. And just overall, he in minus yards, it looks here, rating is at a 114.
So I think that's
the passes by directions.
Yeah. But I'm saying that's the drop back number. That's that's for a 9-step. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's dropping back a bit. He's got a lot of protection with that offensive line. It's going to open up a lot of chances for him to do something in Dallas. And not only that, he doesn't have shabby wide receivers. But here's the thing: the numbers for Dez Bryant without Tony Romo are devastatingly different than the Dez Bryant with Tony Romo numbers.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like Antonio Brown with Big Ben. Exactly.
So we'll have to see, how quickly of a relationship either Prescott and Dez make, or if, Mark Sanchez is going to have to come in and really make that, veteran connection and take this team into a new role and take over this division possibly.
Now, getting back to Sanchez, according to Sports Day Daily News, the new deal can pay Sanchez up to $5.375 million, the source said, but the base value of the deal is $2 million. Sanchez can maximize the deal based on play time and team performance and incentives. Now, so if he does have something to play for, but I think they're going to give Dak Prescott every opportunity, especially with having a good offensive line. I really think the only reason, unless he completely bombed, they would take, if he is starting week 1, which he would be, the only way they would take him out would be if he was getting destroyed to do the offensive line.
That's the way not to backtrack way too much here, but if the Eagles had the offensive line that Dallas had, you guys wouldn't have half the worries about Carson Wentz start.
And he probably wouldn't have cracked ribs either.
Exactly. So, but
I can't disagree.
Did you say you completely disagree?
He said he can't.
I said I can't disagree.
I was going to say, well, then you're crazy.
Con, do you got anything on the Cowboys?
I think that Terrence Williams isn't all that good at football, and I think that Dez Bryant is really on a one-man show there. We've talked a little bit about Terrence Williams and Cole Beasley and the fantasy aspect of things, and even the football aspect of things, but Terrence Williams has never had more than 52 catches in a year, which he did get last year. He had 840 yards last year, and maybe they can develop some kind of chemistry with the young quarterback, but I don't think Dak Prescott has shown anything at all yet, because frankly I don't buy into especially offensive performances in the preseason. Now I could be completely wrong. Terrence Williams could blow up. Dez Bryant's numbers could, and John, you brought up the great stats about how Dez Bryant does not perform well without Tony Romo. I'll just believe it when I see Dak Prescott come back, and I know it's not coming from.
I hear you 100%.
That's why I guess it's glad that you guys are. I should say that you guys are glad that somebody on the show that is not a fan of the NFC East can look in here and be like, "Hey guys."
Not look at it through like hate-colored glasses.
Yeah. I don't have no rosy shades on.
I'm trying to be as whatever the word that means, not
realistic,
biased.
Non-biased.
Is it objective or subjective?
Objective. It would be objective.
I think the Cowboys.
Subjective is yourself, Sean.
I think
you are the subject.
All right. I think the Cowboys are kind of
English with Bedlam.
I think the Cowboys
English with
Kojo with words.
with a rookie quarterback coming in here, it's probably going to be the Cowboys and the Eagles competing for the cellar in that division now.
I don't know, man. Washington, even though they don't have a running back core to kind of compensate for their wide receiving game, because their wide receiving game is not that great. It's pretty mediocre, but
top end mediocre.
Yeah, they got some, because I don't know. Pierre Garçon let me down last year.
And Deshaun Jackson,
the problem is he's such a head case that you can easily get in his head and get him out of the game.
He's just a burner. He's a burner.
Yeah,
that's all he is.
All he does is he just creates he creates separation
by speed.
But he's not a big guy that's going to leap over a corner and pull in a touchdown.
The problem
Jordan Reed that's the problem. Not over a corner, but
the problem Deshaun Jackson had stems all the way back to his Philly days. If the pass isn't going to him, he's not running full speed. He's not playing as if the ball is going to him.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
the ball's going to him, he takes 2 times that speed. Then he turns it on. Then it's like, oh well, we know it's going to D-Jack. So then all the strong safety has to slide over and just cover.
I can't hate too much on D-Jacks because he does spread the field, which definitely help the Eagles a lot when
He definitely take the top off.
Yeah, he'll definitely.
But you
blow
also
the
have
top off a
Macklin,
defense.
somebody that could catch.
Yeah, and now they're both in different cities, so it is what it is.
Yeah, one followed Dr. Robotnik and his furry animals.
Andy Reid. But let's take a quick second and tell you guys about Podbean, where we publish our show onto the net. So no matter where you're listening to, it's up on Podbean first. So you guys, if you want to start your own podcast, can go over to podbean.com/r/bedlam and get a free month of Podbean podcast hosting. It'll be a unlimited bandwidth for the month, so you could really test the waters and try things out without even risking any money, and get the free deal over at podbean.com/r/bedlam now. But let's take a second here and talk about them G-men. Now, it's been 700 days since Victor Cruz has made a regular season appearance, that being that Philadelphia Eagles game where he tore his patella tendon.
Do you guys have this counter on the website or something?
Pretty much. But but it seems like he is ready to play. He did play in the 4th preseason game. The Giants, Odell Beckham, Eli Manning didn't play at all, and Brady played into the 3rd quarter, and Giants got a couple interceptions off him, you know what I mean? Caused 2 fumbles that they recovered. Looked really nice as a whole. Mostly the backups playing. I'll tell you one thing, though. They still got to fix that running game.
Yeah, let's talk real quick. But
Victor Cruz does look ready to play.
Okay, now
for Dallas.
Now that you have like a solid picture of who your wide receivers are, how do you divvy out those targets for the game? Let's just use 100% as full.
Easy.
How do you divvy that out?
Easy. Well, at first it's going to go. Beckham will lead. Sterling Shepard, I believe, will be second. Victor Cruz will be third. I think Victor Cruz will be playing, but they're still going to manage him.
Yeah, but how much of a percentage of targets do you think he's going to see out of 100?
Okay. Well, Beckham's going to account for more than half.
So what do you say, 55 or 60?
I'm saying more like 60.
Okay, so now there's 40% left.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll probably go 25-15. Rookie getting 25, Cruz getting 15.
Okay, I could see that.
I could see Cruz's production going up later in the year, but it makes more sense. Like, let's not aggravate anything here. Let him play. Let him play in the slot. He'll go out there with the 3 wide. His first read's always going to be Beckham. Well, not always, but majority of the time is going to be Beckham anyway. And I don't think he'll be on the field all the time. He's going to be
unless he's got 2. Unless he's got 2.
All right, but now, how do you guys, Colin, how do you see the Giants this year as an Eagles fan?
I think there's a lot of talent on their team, but I do think that it's more complicated to fix a defense than simply by plugging and placing high-priced free agents in there and expecting different results overnight. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you need a new change of scenery from, like, a new perspective from a new defensive coordinator, which you guys
Spags' his first year. It was his first year last year, though.
Well, if it was as bad as it was, like, personnel-wise last year, then, you think you would get some kind of production. The Giants had a historically bad passing defense, especially last year. I do think that they're an improved team. On voicebedlam.com, when my hardcore breakdown of NFC
we'll get to that.
I do have them improving. Yeah, so I'm thinking the Giants are an 8-8 team. I love their offense. The defense, I think, is going to take some more time, but they're obviously going in the right direction. Any team with Odell Beckham Jr., you got to be high on, based on their potential.
Now, as far as the defense goes, I mean, the defense looked really nice last night, and I do agree that building out a free agency is not the answer, but I think they're trying to take a page out of the best defenses of recent memory, that being the Seattle Seahawks. With the corners, they have both drafted and signed. The Giants do have a mix. They did spend an enormous amount of money on Olivia Vernon, Snacks Harrison, and Janoris Jenkins, but they already had in place Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. They drafted Eli Apple with the number 10 overall pick coming out of Ohio State. And the Giants have really been trying to develop that core front 4 again. Linebackers still always a question mark, but hopefully Devon Kennard can stay healthy. I think the Giants is a good mix, and Denver kind of broke the rule book. They kept it old school with winning with defense, but at the same time, they kind of broke the rule book and did it with mostly free agents. So I think a combination between the Seattle Seahawks Seahawks defensive backs that the Giants are trying to mimic, plus the mix and match of the Denver Broncos with the hopefully genius of Steve Spagnuolo is what the Giants are really counting on. That and, Odell Beckham lighting it up. Now, I'm hearing a lot of people in the media calling Eli Manning a dark horse for MVP. And my honest opinion, the only other time I would have agreed with that statement would have been following the 2011 Super Bowl win. And but I can jump on that bandwagon this year, and I could see at least Eli Manning in the runnings for MVP as we're getting into December. Does anybody agree? There's a lot of people talking about it. Colin?
I think Eli Manning has an opportunity to do that, but he's so up and down, and I would never put money off of it based alone on his inconsistency. Andrew, you can attest to that. He kind of has one good season and then follows it up with a stinker and vice versa.
Sometimes he has one good pass and then a terrible pass. Yes.
Yeah.
So too frustrating. He does have back-to-back seasons with 30 touchdowns. I like that. So that's consistent. Nice. Those are the OBJ years.
Yeah, and also Ben McAdoo.
Yeah.
I would put Eli maybe in that category. I could
I'd like top 5 in December.
I could see it. We'll see what happens going into the season. I'm hoping Eli actually has a big season because I got OBJ in the fantasy league.
Fantasy football is a crazy thing.
Let me throw this out there then. Let's make a bold prediction. I know it's only September, but who do you guys have as your MVPs for this season?
I'll go out on a limb. I'll say Manning.
I'll give you my top 3. All right, because
John's afraid of commitment.
No, I'm not afraid. Yeah, actually, I do
talk to Sarah.
I do have commitment issues. Well,
sounds like getting too personal.
Too personal now.
It's too close to home.
All right, Amari Cooper. All right, Amari Cooper.
Oh no, I disagree.
What? Okay.
Too soon.
All right.
Yeah, too soon.
Okay. All
For
right.
a wide receiver on top of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Watch.
Let me guess. Number 2 is Cam.
Yeah, because Eli Manning's going to be able to throw to one wide receiver.
Yo,
or
Eli
one
Joker.
All right, so Minnesota at Tennessee. I got Tennessee coming out victorious at home week 1, taking, they're taking on the Vikings. And if Teddy Bridgewater was playing, maybe I'd pick the other direction, but I really don't see any hope for the Vikings in week 1. Then I went with Cleveland over Philadelphia, Philly at home. And now by picking the Tennessee Titans, that's giving me the 5 of spades. The Cleveland Browns giving me the 9 of spades. Then I'm taking the Oakland Raiders over the New Orleans Saints, giving me the ace of spades. Green Bay Packers over the Jacksonville Jaguars, giving me the 3 of spades. And the the Houston Texans over the Chicago Bears, giving me the 6 of spades, landing me with a poker hand of an ace high flush in spades with the Titans, Browns, Raiders, Packers, and Texans coming up on top. Now, we all didn't pick the same games, but it's just going to be most games won. So, who wants to go next?
Well, let's scroll down and see who's up next.
It's mine. Here we go.
So people altering things. Okay, good. Or did I do that? But go ahead, John.
I went with the Oakland Raiders over the Saints, giving me an ace of spades. The ace of spades.
If you like to gamble.
Rest in peace, Lemmy. And then I have Kansas City Chiefs over the San Diego Chargers, giving me the ace of diamonds. Okay. I have the Jaguars beating the Packers. Okay, giving me the king of diamonds. Then I'm choosing as my pick the Chicago Bears over the Houston Texans. The reason why is because I want that king of spades. Okay, so and then I'm hoping that our buddy Sam Stocks' team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, pulls one out over Atlanta and giving me the king of clubs, giving me a full house.
All right, kings over aces. Now that's a great poker hand, but I gotta break down these picks.
I gotta ask you something, John. How is the Bears over the Texans your pick? How is it not the Jaguars over the Packers? Not your
because everybody's overrating this Packers squad, and quite honestly, I don't think.
I have to say people are overrating the Jaguars more than they're overrating.
No, I think what's going to happen is this is the coming out party for these young Jaguars to show. Yeah, you might have a lot of love for Aaron Rodgers, but guess what? We're the new boys in the town.
See, now this is showing strategy. This is just showing strategy of two different ways to play. See, I can tell what you did to take your picks, and I know what I did. What I did was ignoring the poker cards. I picked who I thought would win the game.
Oh yeah.
Then
that's what I did.
because when you have that, I mean, what is there like 8 or 16 games?
16 games.
Correct.
Yeah, something like that. Well, there's no Monday night. That's the tiebreaker and everything. But so
15.
out of the leftover
There are 2
games.
Monday night games.
Yeah, this week there's 2. Yeah.
But-
So 14 then.
Out of wow, I totally lost my train of thought now. But out of the remaining, out of all the games, I picked then the best poker hand. I think what you did was you went for the best poker hand and made your picks around it, giving you kings over aces.
Yeah, pretty much. Because
But it might work. We don't know.
Yeah.
I've never played.
Yeah, we'll
You know,
see.
that's
this is our
why-
first
We'll have
time.
to see how the games actually play out.
Plus everybody, some people have signature segments and stuff, and like I want people, especially the fans, to be like, yo, what's John's what pick?
Are you gonna have a what every week?
It's a
Yeah.
joker choker.
Yeah, it's like that pick. Like what were you
It's definitely
thinking?
gambling. I definitely wouldn't have picked the Jaguars over the Packers, and I don't think I would have picked the Texans or the Bears over the Texans either.
Oh, I definitely
But if you're
would.
going for that poker hand, then that's what you got to do because the full house. That's a good poker.
Yeah.
Yeah, with kings over aces. That's a very big boat.
Yeah, the pick that you're saying that is a what pick, that I actually feel confident in Jacksonville.
Watch playing.
Yeah, and you know what? No, I mean Jacksonville over the Packers, but the Bears, they got a lot to prove. They were the poo-poo stains last year.
Well, they were better than they were the previous 2 seasons before.
Yes, but we'll see what John Fox did with that franchise. He turned around a losing franchise in Carolina and took them to a Super Bowl and lost by a field goal. So maybe they can do it. So we'll see. I have a little more hope in that. So let's see.
Now, real quick,
I'm not seeing my poker hand in front of.
that's because you didn't submit me.
Yeah,
the
that's why.
screenshot of your poker
Yeah,
hand.
he put it up there.
I put it up there.
So let's pull up the Facebook.
I think I'll just put it. Well, all right. If we're gonna,
we need to know your cards.
if we're gonna bring it
specifically.
up, I definitely know that I have a ace high flush like Andrew, but I think I took. I definitely took the Vikings.
Well, just
over
hold
the,
on there.
over the
there.
Titans.
Hold
Well,
on there,
let's
buddy.
get a look.
Let's
at
get to our
Yeah, we got-
VOB crew secret group on
Yes.
Facebook. This is some
You can't see it.
confidential information right here. I see John's picks.
Yep.
And then we got Sean's.
Yep.
All right.
And then I responded. Yep. There
Have
we go.
fun reading that, man.
All right, so I picked the Vikings over the Titans.
So we're butting heads there.
Yeah. That gave me the 10 of spades, and then I picked the Eagles over the Browns.
We're butting heads there.
Yes, which gave me the 9 of spades, and then I picked the Raiders over the Saints, the
I
ace of
agree.
spades, and then I picked the Packers over the Jaguars, which gave me the 3 spades, and then I picked the Texans over the Bears, which gave me the king of spades. So I also have.
No, the Texans gave you the 6 of spades.
Yeah, 6 of spades.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Bears are the king.
Okay, all right, yeah, all right.
It's still an ace high
so
flush.
it's still an ace high flush, but I think wait, Andrew, you got the king.
Yes, yeah, I do have
Yeah,
the
so
king.
he's got a higher
But we
kicker.
didn't pick the same teams anyway, because we
So there
both
were-
can't win
so
because
there
we
were
butted
two-
heads on
so
like
there-
3 picks.
So was there 2 teams that had the king of spades then? Because if you got the king
I don't know how it's.
spades,
I don't
No,
think
no,
it's
no,
the
no, no.
same.
The deck of
It's not
cards
really-
is
it's
different.
Yeah, we can have if I get the Bears, my Bears may be attached to an ace of diamonds, and your Bears may be attached to a 2 of spades.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, it's
all right.
different decks.
So either way, I still got an ace high flush in spades.
if you win those games,
if I win those games.
I think the winner should get their team selections here posted up on the Instagram.
For a little bit of reference.
You mean after week 1?
Yeah, after
All
week 1, the
But
winner
real
will
quick,
get
after this,
Instagram.
I didn't get to pick because I didn't want the card. I didn't get to say my pick for the Giants game, but we'll
Yeah.
get to our personal picks for our team
yeah,
games
definitely. Yeah.
afterwards. So, Colin, why don't you give me your Joker Choker Pick'em picks?
Well, as you said, I didn't choose enough good cards to play poker because as much as I love Joker Choker, I need to read directions better for next time. But anyway, I can at least talk about my football picks, and you guys let me know if I'm crazy here. I think, and it's an interesting perspective because you guys are playing the game. This is just for what football team I feel is better. So I have Panthers over Broncos, Vikings over Titans. I actually have the Browns over Eagles as well. Bengals over Jets, Raiders over Saints. I like the Chiefs over the Chargers. and I like the Packers over the Jaguars. I like the Texans over the Bills. I don't know why I keep talking like that. I got the Bills over the Ravens, Falcons over the Bucks, and Seahawks over the Dolphins, and Colts over the Lions, and I like the Giants over the Cowboys.
Okay, now
where am I crazy here?
Say you went
And I
a
have the
little
Cardinals over the
fast for me.
Patriots, Steelers over the Redskins, and
you went a-
49ers over Rams.
So what cards do you get left with now?
I have an ace high. That is my hand.
An ace high.
Yes.
Yes. All
I
right.
So you
literally
need
can't
jacks
play
or better.
poker because I'm not good at reading directions.
You need jacks or better to open up.
And you can't blame that on your education at Easton because we did good in English, but we just sucked at math.
No, I'm good at math.
Unless it was the metric scale, then we were fine. But anywho,
I will play a week down from you guys, and I'll still come out better by
All
the end
right,
of the
little.
Oh, scrolling through
Go ahead
our
and say that.
all right, well, we'll see. We'll see whose lineup goes on the Instagram.
scrolling through, I see something else that's about to go on the Instagram. Sean got some pretty kick-ass Voice of Bedlam bumper stickers made up.
Yeah, actually, these are not bumper stickers, but I'm planning on putting one of these. There's the little Voice of Bedlam. There's got a border of barbed wire that my wife printed out for me.
And it's the logo behind us.
Yes, and it's exactly like the logo you got right here behind me, John, and Andrew.
You could just say us.
I'm throwing out the names, man. I'm throwing out the names.
Audience interaction.
Yeah, exactly.
God
exactly.
damn, John.
I'm gonna throw one of these on my bass drum, and I meant to bring them with me, and I was gonna give one to each one of you guys. Con, I can definitely get you one. I'm sure Mary wouldn't have a problem printing up at least a few more. And
please.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it right on my bass drum.
There you
That's
go.
not a bad idea.
I already got a bunch of stickers
Do you
on
have-
my bass drum.
You might need to put another
maybe on
color
one of my
sticker
toms,
though,
we'll see.
because it's if you have a black head, that black on black is not
I
going to
mean,
pop as much.
not on the bass head, on the actual
On the,
bass.
on
on
the
the bass
shell.
drum.
All
Okay, I got you.
My bass drum head is completely spray painted black, but I do got a bunch of stickers around the shell of my bass drum.
Oh, that's not
So
bad
where I'm
then.
gonna put one of those nice little Voice of Bedlam stickers that Mary Jane Johnson, my lovely wife, printed out for us.
Shout out to the wife.
Shout out to Mary.
But I think that'll close up our Joker Choker pick'ems. So now remember, guys, go over to jokerchoker.com. Get in on the fun. There are cash prizes, free to play. Just remember, when you sign up, to use promo code BEDLAM, BEDLAM, at entry. All you're going to need is your name, your email address, and the word BEDLAM, and you'll get a bunch of free coins so you can get in a bunch of hands. And it's a lot of fun, especially if you like poker as well. Figure out your own strategy. We talked a little bit about our strategy, but I think this is going to close up the jokerchoker.com pick'ems.
But definitely, I don't know about y'all, but what do you think about picking up, talking about the rest of the ones that did not make the Joker Choker lineup?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's say we got the Bills versus Ravens. I got the Ravens.
I got the Ravens. Bills
I
injured.
think I also picked the Ravens. I'm not sure though.
Okay, how about you, Colin?
Got the Bills.
Ooh, so he's the lone wolf.
He's a lone wolf over there.
I don't have I gotta pull it up. I might end up saying something different than what I actually picked.
All
I
right.
think,
So do the go.
I picked Baltimore, but I'm not sure.
All right,
I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. So whatever.
Yeah, okay. All right, so now this one's a toss-up for me. Bengals versus the Jets at the Jets. I have the Bengals.
I have Cincinnati also.
I want it to be the Jets, but I have the Bengals.
How about you,
I
Colin?
got the Bengals too.
right.
Bengals.
All right, now the Browns are going to Philly to face these Eagles. I have the Browns, beating out you guys
So
at
do
home.
I.
I have Philly.
Philly? Okay, how
I
about
got a
you?
Cleveland.
summer pick. I just think Cleveland.
So Colin, you're picking Cleveland. So Sean's the lone
Yeah, I've
wolf.
been saying
I'm a
Cleveland
lone
for a couple weeks now.
All right, we already talked about the Vikings, Titans. Now the Sun. Now we're getting into 4:00 games, guys.
Woo! A lot of
4
football.
o'clock. Okay. Dolphins at the Seahawks. I have the Seahawks.
Oh yeah, Seahawks.
Seahawks.
I think we're all in agreement. Colin, Seahawks or Dolphins? Yeah. Okay.
It's a
Okay.
no-brainer.
Giants at the Cowboys. I
I'm
have
going
the Giants.
Big Blue.
I think I also picked the Giants. Yeah.
Colin.
Give me New York.
Oh, all of us.
All right.
Sweeping it
So
up.
Lions at the Colts. I have the Colts.
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 I've got the Colts.
All right. Patriots at the Cardinals. I have the Cardinals.
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 Guards.
Oh.
Jimmy Garoppolo, you're getting no love from the
Braylon's
Voice of
going
Bedlam
down
crew.
in week 1.
All right. Steelers are going to the Redskins, and I have the Steelers winning.
As do I.
I think I also picked Pittsburgh, yeah.
And that's the Monday night game. I'm sorry to mention that.
And as always, real quick, getting back to Joker Choker, the Monday night game is the tiebreaker, that being a combined score and combined total running yards. So make sure you fill that in at the bottom of your ticket.
And then the second...
Who did Con have in that game?
I got Pittsburgh. We're still all on the same page.
Iron Curtain.
awesome.
So we're looking at like 2 games that are different right now.
The second Monday night game, Rams at the 49ers. I have the Rams.
Yes, I do too.
I think I picked San Fran in that game.
Ooh.
Okay.
Me too.
Who's,
Okay,
all right,
so we're
okay,
split.
so who's going to be lining up at quarterback for San Francisco?
Blaine Gabbert.
Gabbert.
All right, and not to be too pompous here, but I did save the best for last, and the only reason why I'm saying it's the best for last is because it's the first football game that we get, and it's the rematch of the Super Bowl on Thursday Night Football, where the Panthers go into town at Mile High Stadium to go against Captain Noodle Arms-less Broncos. All right,
I picked Carolina.
yeah, I got
As
Carolina.
do I. Probably Colin. Colin, you got
Oh,
Carolina?
yeah, I got Carolina.
All right, so we're split 2-2 on the Niners.
Rams.
Niners, Rams.
Almost unanimous there.
And then, Sean was the lone wolf taking the Eagles over the Browns.
Me and Colin had the Ravens beating Buffalo.
Okay, so we were different. And Colin, you were the lone wolf on something.
Yeah, I think
Ravens,
I would
Bills?
like Bills over the Ravens.
Yeah, okay.
That was
so
the one that stood out.
Those are
first.
really the games we got to keep an eye
So
on
that's
there.
3 games. That's it. Like but it's kind of
so
it's kind of reassuring to know.
It's whatever.
Yeah, it's what?
I think I said I was lone, or me and Colin were the same on Buffalo and Baltimore, but Colin was the only one that didn't pick
Yes.
Baltimore.
Yes.
But now, with John being so pumped up about this Thursday night opening kickoff,
Why aren't you guys so pumped
Gonna
up?
be doing.
I am pumped on it.
He's going to
I
be
am.
doing the voiceofbedlam.com post previewing Thursday's game. It'll probably be up tomorrow. Maybe it'll be up Thursday
Yes.
morning.
Yes,
but I know it's going to be up there.
Oh yes, it's this the return of my writing hand.
You're lefty.
Yeah, I'm a lefty. Yeah.
I'm a lefty with everything except writing.
Oh,
I
yes,
write with my right.
I'm the opposite. Like in sports and things, I'm
Yeah, I'm
always
always lefty
right-handed,
throwing
and then
football and
when
basketball.
it comes to writing and stuff, it goes right to my left. But the preview, because it'll go up tomorrow. I'll put it up tomorrow afternoon, just because I have a lot of the stuff that I was looking into. The biggest things that you can look forward to in this article is a preview of how this secondary is going to be going up against some top tier wide receivers as their first matchup, and also this. And I'm going to make the claim right now: Carolina has the best defense in the NFL. Let's go.
All right, okay. But speaking about articles up at voiceofbedlam.com, we already talked about Bye Bye Birdie up at voiceofbedlam.com. Let's get into this week's article spotlight, combining a couple articles here, a little series Colin has been putting together, the Hardcore Breakdown. Colin, why don't you talk to us about the Hardcore Breakdowns up at voiceofbedlam.com?
It's just a quick little wrap up in about 1,000 words of how the division's going to shake down, what each team has done to improve their team over last year, where their weaknesses and strengths going to be lying, and predict the finals, the final shakedown of, so far we got NFC East, AFC East, and NFC South.
All right, so Colin, I know you made your NFC East prediction before Tony Romo got hurt. I think you actually made it. I think you actually posted it the day.
It was
Tony
the
Romo
day that
got hurt.
the Romo news broke.
So the NFC East, I think you had the. I mean, I know for a fact you had the Cowboys winning the division. How do you see the NFC East breaking down now?
I actually am going with the Washington Redskins with a 9-7 record.
Interesting.
Even before the Tony Romo injury, I had the Redskins there in second place with 9 wins, and I'm taking 2 wins away from the Cowboys with Romo missing 8. And that might not even be enough. Either way, that leaves the Redskins, to me, in first place.
That's
Redskins in first, okay. Redskins in first.
I can actually see that because I've said before that I don't think the Redskins will repeat as a division winner, but I think maybe I was looking at it a little biased. The Redskins might actually be a little bit better than people are giving them credit for. The only team, obviously, now that's going to compete for that division will be the Giants. So you might see a couple 9-7 teams, maybe an 8-8 type situation where 8-8 or 9-7 will definitely win that division.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you guys think?
Well,
let me hear John, and let me hear the Giants fan.
Honestly, I'm sure that this guy over here is going to be happy to hear this, but with a rookie quarterback in Dallas, yeah, I still think that they're going to make a run for that second and third place, swapping in and out with Washington. And I'm not saying it to disrespect your team, but yeah, I don't see them winning more than 6 games this year. And with that being said, now that leaves, Washington. Are they going to be able to repeat with, Alfred Morris jumping ship and going to Dallas? Are they going to be able to move the ball with these older wide receivers? And then you got Dallas with the question mark of, can this rookie quarterback perform, or can the backup veteran quarterback step in his place and take them to a couple victories?
Let's not forget about the rookie running back.
Yeah, but the rookie with that offensive line, I think their least of their worries is Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's going to be able. He's one of those players that's going to be able to hit the ground running, and no pun intended.
All right, this is going to bring us in to today's 4-minute hut. Now we're going to do on the eve, the show eve or whatever, right before the season.
Yeah.
We're going to pick our division winners. We're going to keep up with it throughout the course of the season. We'll revisit it probably quarterly, monthly, something like that. All right, so real quick, let's run through this, and then we're going to wrap up the show. Now, let's talk NFC East. I am taking the Giants, of course. John, who do you got in the NFC East?
I have to agree with you. The Giants have the best sporting chance because of the question marks that I just mentioned. Yeah, I have to go with the Giants.
Sean?
I'll say Giants simply based on I think they have the most upside.
Yeah, okay.
In this division.
Colin?
Got the Redskins.
Redskins. Lone Wolf, Colin. All right, so let's kick it over to the AFC East. AFC East is a difficult one.
Yes,
I mean, I've been torn all offseason between New England and the Jets, but I know this kind of didn't go. I didn't take the Jets to win this week, but I'm going to take the Jets to sneak up and steal this division to make it interesting. Both New York teams. I'm taking Jets. Who you got, John?
As much as I don't want to say it, I think the Patriots might take it.
I'm saying New England also.
Throwing it up to chalk.
Yeah, you win that many championships.
Colin.
Yeah, I got New England with 11 wins in first place.
Nice.
All right. So let's go up north. We'll go AFC North first. I will go Silver and Black Steelers. John?
They're not an AFC North team.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, they are.
You said silver and black.
Yeah.
I meant gold and black.
Yeah, I was about to say, we haven't gotten to the Raiders yet, but we'll get there. Honestly, this will be the year that the gold and black reclaim that vision. But actually, you know what? I'm sorry. No, you know what?
Making me cross things out now?
I'm sorry. Ravens. You know what? Because
I'd saying Ravens.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are going to be able to do it because I don't think that missing Le'Veon Bell, and I don't. As much as I love D'Angelo Williams, it's going to be a tough year for them.
All right, Sean.
I still think Cincinnati is the best team in that division, so I'm taking Cincinnati.
One of the, I think this is one of the most, how the NFC East is so up for grabs because teams have a lack of performance.
Yeah, they just have a talented group.
Now, the North, it could really go to pretty much any of the teams, I'd say with the exception of the Browns. But Colin, who do you got in the North?
I'm going to stick with Cincinnati myself.
All right, so 2 for Cincy. John with the Ravens. I'm taking the Steelers.
Yeah, sorry for making you cross that.
All right, so NFC North, I will go Green Bay, of course.
With Teddy Bridgewater being out, Sam Bradford being kind of a game manager sort of at this point, not unlike Teddy Bridgewater.
True.
Man, and I just said Aaron Rodgers is going to take MVP. I'm going to rescind, I think, my earlier prediction from months ago. I'm going to say Green Bay wins that division now.
Ooh.
Okay, Green Bay. John, who you taking?
I'm Minnesota. I think they're going to repeat. Even with
they got bad in the playoffs.
Even though they got Mr. Glass Legs over there now, I think
he ain't playing this year anyway.
Well, I think he'll be playing a lot more than people would think.
He's on IR. He can't play.
No, I'm talking about Mr.
He's talking about
Bradford.
Bradford.
I call him glass leg.
I thought, Teddy Bridgewater just tore his ACL.
Yeah, true. So yeah,
kind of confused me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll call him glass knee. Sorry.
Colin, who do you got in the NFC North?
I'm taking the Packers. I don't foresee any issues with Jordy Nelson's knee, so I'm going that offense is right back to
So
square one where they
far,
always have been.
no unanimous decision making
No,
right now.
not yet.
Not yet.
No, we all. Oh no, Colin took the Skins in the East.
Exactly.
All right, so we're gonna head down south. We'll do NFC first. I'm gonna go with the Panthers. John.
You already know. I wanted Cam Newton to. I call Cam Newton in the top 5 for repeating for the MVP. So yeah, this is gonna be a good year.
Sean.
Tampa Bay is not anywhere near
Ready.
close to taking that division. They're a team on the up and coming, but they're not taking that crown away from the Panthers. So Carolina.
Colin.
Carolina.
All right, so we are unanimous.
I eat my words immediately. Why?
We are unanimous in the NFC South.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the AFC South. This is a little bit more complicated. I am going to go Houston Texans.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow.
I think you're going to be alone in that one.
Yeah.
The Texans are going to be good, but I think Andrew Luck has a bounce back here, and I'm taking Indy.
Colin.
Yeah, I'm going with the Colts too.
Brothers in agreement again. Okay, so we will now go out west. Also very interesting in the NFC, perhaps not as much as when the Niners were really a team.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, to me, you really got to put it up to Seattle or Arizona, and I'm going with Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona is definitely going to be that team, but also don't rule out the St. Louis Rams.
Which one you taking?
I'm going with Arizona, but the toss up. It was a toss up between them and the Rams this year for me.
Really, them and the Rams, not
Yes.
them and the Seahawks.
No, the Seahawks are in a downslope, man. I think what's happening to them is that
What do you call the Rams? They're starting Case Keenum for week 1.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Hey, it's written, it's locked.
I think the Seahawks are kind of starting to decline, but I still think they're probably a wild card contender, and I don't think the Rams are going to do much in that division, especially with Case Keenum starting. So, I got the Cardinals because they were a number 1 seed in the NFC last year, so I'm picking Arizona.
All right, we got under a minute to go, guys. So, Colin, why don't you give me NFC West and then give me AFC West as well?
Give me Seattle and then give me Denver. I think Simeon will play as well as Manning did last year. There's no reason to think that the team's going to drop off that much defensively. You think about how bad Peyton Manning was last year. Trevor Simeon's not going to be that much worse.
I see it, though. I see it.
All right, Sean, who do you see? You see Denver?
I'm going to give respect to the Raiders because I know John is probably going to go with the Raiders, and the Raiders are a good team, but like Colin said, the Broncos did not have good quarterback play last year, and they still won the Super Bowl, and they still got a defense, and they don't really have a whole lot of competition. I shouldn't say that because they do got KC and Oakland, but I think Trevor Simeon plays well enough to actually win that game, win that team close to as many games as they did last year. Maybe like 11-5 type season.
Wow. Okay.
So I'll pick Denver also.
All right. Well, I've said it. I've said it once. I've said it twice, and I'm going to say it multiple times. Silver and black are back, so just win, baby. And they're going to just win that division.
I can see it.
All right, so we are in agreement on a lot of things. We don't have to recap them all, but here
what do you got for the AFC West, though?
Oh, I didn't say. Oh, Raiders. I wrote it down, but I talk about the Raiders all the time. I love Amari Cooper, Derek Carr, Khalil Mack. They got a real nice young team. I think it's really time that they're going to own own the West. But just to run through it, Colin, the only one taking the Skins, everyone else taking the Giants, everyone taking the Pats except for myself taking the Jets. The AFC North real split. I got Steelers, John Ravens, Sean Cincy, Colin Cincy. We are unanimous in the Panthers. I take Texans, John Jacksonville, and then the Johnson brothers going to Indy. John, and Sean all take the Cardinals, with Colin taking the Seahawks, John and I with the Raiders, and the Johnson brothers in agreement again with Denver. But that's going to really get things wrapped up for today. Just remember to go over, check out jokerchoker.com. Jump on with the pick'ems, and it's really a lot of fun. You got a chance to win some money. Make sure you use that promo code Bedlam at entry. And also remember, if you would like to get into the new generation, the new sports app.
Yeah, new generation sports app.
Sports app. You guys can email staff@voiceofbedlam.com. Get your invite code today. Game launches September 15th. We're going to be
2 weeks away.
Picking the next play, and
And also make sure you go to jokerpoker.com and join in. And maybe if you screenshot your picks and you tag us in Instagram with hashtag VOBpod, or do it on Facebook, and we might talk about your pick on the show. And thank you for joining us in the conversation and enjoying the fun of Joker Poker.
All right, okay, guys. We're going to end things for this week. For Colin on the phones, Sean, John, I'm Andrew Bedlam, and we're getting the hell out of here.